Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video, we're going to do a price update for Dogecoin. I know we're seeing some price action, some volatility going on here, and some people are questioning, "Oh, is this the peak of the run? And is it all over?" The usual things here. Um, to answer those questions very early in the video, no, I don't think we've peaked in this cycle, nor has it ever peaked this early on, especially when we are due for the typically like the normal cycle and going into peak bull run. We typically don't peak the year before. We typically always run into the following year, and somewhere in the first quarter we'll have that peak there. So just looking at some of the numbers here, we did break this current trend here. This is definitely a very strong upward trend we had here for quite some time, and we broke below the 14-day, but it looks like we're finding some support down here right above where we have, which is we've already had we had a closure and about 3 touches here around the 35 cents mark, but we're also finding some support here at around 36.44. This has also been a place where we've closed at several times. So I think that this will be a kind of like a marker here for establishing some liquidity here, maybe like a possible zone here that we're going to use to um, use as like a median here to see if we're going to be able to regain and come back up to this current trend level, or if this is just going to be a support level and we will ascend from here. So this is something to kind of keep in mind here. But overall, when we see an aggression like this, and when you think about it, this isn't really a bad sell considering the fact that I'm not gonna say we haven't dropped, because we certainly had some red days in here, but as you can see, and one of the things that we've been following is this is an aggressive uptrend. This is not a downtrend, and this certainly isn't sideways, right? So this is still, even though it was a not necessarily breaking out, we're doing some retesting coming back down to the 14. This is, if we technically have some sideways momentum here, this will be the first time we went sideways, and since we had this run up, because that has not been the case. We have certainly been, everything has been up, right? So that for one is one of the reasons I'm not concerned. And technically speaking, it's healthy to build out these things here. I'm happy that there is a bunch of buyers and sellers here in these zones, and if we're able to catch it, especially this close, and build out a support zone here, I'm really happy about that, because if you think about it, we have some gap zones here, like around, if we start getting to like the low 30s, then we can question whether or not, and go back and look at some of those older price action signals and excuse me, price action candles, and see where those pools of liquidity can possibly be. Because right here, based off of this current trend, we are these are gap zones, and right, so these can technically be filled, but right now we're catching ourselves right a nice bit above those. We even had a green day yesterday, so it's not like we're creating like a descending wedge or something like that. So we are in great shape, and I think Bitcoin today went back over 100K, if I'm not mistaken. When I saw it earlier, I want to say it was at like 101. And we know that these sell-offs, these things, as far as we're taking profit, these are all going to be normal. Not the end of the world. Let's see. Yeah, back over 100,000 today. Green day for Bitcoin as well. Still roughly riding the 14-day. Again, no objections here. Bitcoin has been able to find a lot of liquidity around that 94,000 mark, and being able to kind of retest that 100K. So again, outside of, and this is definitely an upward trend too, even though technically this is an aggressive uptrend as well. If you want to take a look here, it is not descending, right? This is still all positive momentum, right? I'm just going to put this here momentarily so you can get an idea. This is all still positive momentum. We've had some retest here to grab liquidity, but this is still an upward trend. So the market in general, if it needs to take a breather after all of this sprinting, it's not the end of the world. So I am not panicking in the least here. And I know that you can have different sentiments here, depending on who you're listening to. But overall, I am in a great mood about this, and I'm loving when Bitcoin drops below 100K. I love it, and I'm loving some of this price action here for Doge. And I think that is one of the things that we're going to have to look for going forward here is, we don't know if we're going to get any of those catalysts for Doge during this bull run cycle or peak bull run, right? Because that's going to be a game changer here if we get, let's say, next month or later this month, Elon comes out and say, oh yeah, X payments are ready, you can use Doge or something like that. Then this is going to be looking like this, except from this level, right? And and we're about to go into a gap zone here. I believe once we break above the 48 cents mark with get some conviction above that, we're going to be gapping to, what is this, around 58, 59 cents. I'll say somewhere between 58 and 61 cents, right? And yeah, this is some of the retests we had here around 48. And once we break above that, we're looking at another gap zone here. So if we need to get above 48 cents, right? If that's been our mountain that we need to get over, and we're grabbing liquidity from mid 30s really, but technically we're holding the line at 41 cents. I love it. That is much better than that 26 cents to 60 cents thing we were doing in the first time. This is a much stronger run compared to when we were initially at these levels. So I'm loving everything I'm seeing right now. Let's take a look here at some other things going on in the background. We're going to, all right. Open interest up. We did close it. Again, we did close green today. So we are up 6.34% on open interest, roughly around 2.7 billion. Then we peaked at around like 4 billion. I imagine some of the shorts are taking their profits because it's Doge and the shorts are always going to be there. We can take a look at liquidations here. Yep, short liquidations in the last 24 hours, 7.3 compared to long 4.6. Total 11.9. Again, OKX, Binance, Bybit, some of the main ones reporting this data. I want to say the ratio should still be 3-to-1. Yep. Ratios as far as for long versus short are still technically 3-to-1. So overall, 75% of the people that are coming into this coin are still long the coin versus short. Maybe a slight 1% chance, but still overwhelmingly long on this coin here, 75 to 24. And the 5-minute, roughly the same thing for the 30, 75, 24, 75, 24, 4 hours, 75, 24, 1 day, 75, 24, roughly. So yeah, everything for the most part is long coming into the actual coin here. So you'll see, and this is one thing I want to make sure I report on when we start getting to like peak bull run. And if we have a cycle similar, again, this is obviously if we don't get one of those big catalysts during the this early on in the cycle, you'll see these numbers change dramatically, right? You'll see this short position get a lot larger as the buying or the long positions kind of slow up coming into the coin. But as long as you're getting stronger numbers like this here, where it's just overwhelmingly people are long in the coin, then it's just all, I don't want to say like FUD saying, oh, the run is over and things like that, especially when you're not seeing this reflected across the market like in any of the top cryptos. So overall, I just want to give this price update. I'm like everything I'm seeing here. We are still in a amazing position here. This is normal to be expected. If we have another leg up, let's say prior to the end of the year or early January, and we know we still have these catalysts coming out, and we may have like a third leg or something, we'll see something very similar to this. It will have its run and it will have its cool off. That is a normal part of the cycle. It doesn't necessarily mean every time we cool off or have a couple of red days here, it's time to throw in the towel. So it's just a bit of a overreaction by a lot of people, and people post clickbait things and send fear out through the community. But overall, this is a healthy part of the cycle. This happens with everything. This isn't a Doge exclusive. You can take a look at Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, all of these companies that doing, especially Tesla is doing extremely well right now. They all have days like this, and it's just, oh, is it over? So just kind of keep in mind, especially if you're long in the coin, don't be pushed out by short-term noise. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.